Hello, 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 and welcome to episode 19 of the Cooler Guild. I'm your host, Coop, and joined with me, as always, is my co-host, Van.
What's up?
We are recording on Sunday, October 6th. On today's episode, we'll be discussing Reign's fourth loss in a row, this time to Angel City. A few other results around the league we'll be talking about, and introduce a new segment for us to vent and cope with this difficult season as a Reign fan.
Yeah.
But first, some housekeeping.
The Cooler Guild is part of the Sounder at Heart podcast network. You can either listen to us on our public feed, or if you're a Sounder at Heart subscriber, on the private unified feed with the other podcasts on the network. If you'd like to become a subscriber, just visit our page at sounderatheart.com/the Cooler Guild. New subscribers get 10% off the normal rate, and you'll help support everything that we're doing.
This is gonna be a downer episode, so
I mean, we'll try and make
I mean, at this point,
it's a shit time.
It's
really,
a bad
it
time.
is.
Yeah, it's a bad time.
Did you have not a bad time at other points this week?
Yeah, I got some more mushrooms. I sent you a picture.
Yeah, it looked like a superb haul.
Yeah, we went to like the same spot we went to last time, but like, a few weeks later, got a decent haul. So that's nice. My wife's downstairs cooking some more risotto because it's so good. So we'll be having that tonight. Looking forward to that. Love mushroom season. It's the best. I also got a new mushroom knife.
Ooh,
I got like one that was like customized too.
nice. Where'd you get that?
Was it Opinel? It's like a knife company, Opinel. I've looked up how to pronounce it before and I always forget. But it's like
You get
a
it
French.
online?
Yeah, so it's like a French knife company and they like make like a mushroom foraging knife because I was always not cleaning mine well enough because I didn't have a brush on mine. And so this one has like a brush on one end. But I like got an engraving so I could tell it apart from my wife's knife. But like I was just gonna put Coop, but I don't feel like I was gonna get my money's worth for it. Like, because they give so many characters for it. So I put Coop, Cooper, and then like a line, and then it says Shrooms Rule. I also chose like the tackiest font I could have chosen. But it's great. I love it. Now I can be efficient with my cleaning. So yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. What have you been up to?
Week was pretty normal. But today we were supposed to record earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And so as I've spoken about before, I live with my parents' mother-in-law, and they've been doing some remodeling, adding a little outdoor space addition. And my dad and his friend did the electrical, and there was an issue with it today. So we were out of power from like 1 p.m. to like 7:30. Maybe 7:15. But yes, I was just sitting around waiting for that to come on. I did finish my puzzle though, so that was good.
In the dark.
Well, it was daylight, so
what was the puzzle?
At that point, it's just like some 1,000-piece landscape of like some East Coast Massachusetts port town.
You know how people have those like little libraries? I want one of those, but like puzzles, because I don't always want to do my same puzzles, but like I would love to like rotate puzzles in the neighborhood.
That's a great idea. I really thought about, because I've amassed so many puzzles since the pandemic.
Yeah.
After that became my hobby.
Yeah.
That I have boxes and boxes in the garage. I was like, why can't we have a puzzle library?
Should be a puzzle swap or something.
Something. But you can't always trust people that like they're not missing pieces.
I agree, but I feel like maybe that's a risk that's just like part of it. Right?
Yeah. So one thing that we do have in my office, in my state office building that I work in Monday through Friday, we've got like this huge bookcase in the first floor lunchroom that is just puzzles. And we always have a puzzle going on in the first floor lunchroom, which is what I spend my lunch doing. But I take my puzzles there. I take some. So it's kind of like a puzzle library, but I think I might be the only one that uses it like that.
Yeah. I mean, gotta get puzzle fixed somehow.
But yeah, I watched the game on Friday, and then, yeah.
I guess we'll pop into the match recap. You want to go on that?
Yeah, I can talk about it. On Friday night at Lumen Field, the Reign fell 1-0 on a lone goal from M.A. Vignola in the 34th minute. This is the fourth match in a row that the Reign have failed to score a goal, and also the 15th match this season that has been decided by a single point. The team's playoff odds are now slimmer than slim, and they look to be headed for a regular season ending unless a miracle occurs.
Yeah, I don't think the miracle's coming. We had an opportunity for a miracle actually before this match because of the situation that happened with Angel City.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, maybe there is like a weird scenario that's about to happen because Portland's still a dumpster fire. And then we got to see Angel City FC get docked 3 points because if they got caught cheating basically for like 4 weeks. Not by much, but whatever. They got docked 3 points. And I was like, here's an opportunity.
Did you hear on the broadcast that they found out that they had been docked points when they were on the bus to practice the day before the game?
I feel like I remember hearing that.
Yeah, they said it on the broadcast, and I was like, ooh.
Not a really good system they have going on at Angel City. I don't think they got a lot of people know what they're doing there.
Yeah, seems like it. But didn't hurt them.
I don't know. I mean, I'm glad they got docked points. I was kind of like they should probably have been docked more, but then you kind of hear the details of what happened, and it's like I guess 3 points is fine because guess what? They're gonna be auditing everybody else in the league soon. So
Which will be really interesting to see.
yeah. Yeah. But unfortunately, the standings and the current situation for the Rain, it's not good. It's not good after
Mm-mm.
this result. I think hope is pretty much gone. I mean, Laura Harvey said like we're pretty much eliminated.
Yeah, there was one pre-match kind of hopeful moment when something that we said in last week's podcast
Mm.
kind of came to a weird fruition
Mm-hmm.
when Sam was on the sideline.
Yeah, I said to you because we found out Sam Lady was on the sideline. I said to you, "Are we oracles?" I'm pretty sure we're oracles because there's been several things that we've said, whether it's like alluding to a player maybe needs to be transferred or whatever, stuff like that. And it's happened like the week after we fucking said it.
hmm
And now the same lady thing, I was just like, we are oracles.
Yeah, there was a post in the Slack that's like, Sam Lady's out here in a rain jacket. And we were like,
Mhm.
what? We were talking about this.
Which is great because this is one of the changes I was hoping to maybe see.
Yeah, we don't know if it's a change that's going to happen, though. Apparently, Susie said that he's in town for some charity.
Listen, sure, but he was really rocking the new rain gear.
Yeah.
I'm sure they had a discussion. Let's bring him in for next season. Get him
Yeah,
the new
we can hope.
gear. Get him comfortable in the new logo again, or the old new logo, whatever.
I think he's more comfortable with that one than the others.
They probably just like forced the jacket on him.
Here. Yeah, so getting into the game, we really only had, I mean, Fishlock still out
hmm
with the leg injury. And the big change was Quinn was rolled out.
hmm
They have some sort of head injury. So that was gonna always kind of mess up the midfield.
Yeah, and Huerta's still gone.
And she got her first minutes with OL today. Yeah. But we did line up with the 23rd new lineup.
23 out of 23 games, right?
23 out of 23. We have a new starting lineup.
Ugh.
So one thing that like I was kind of confounded by was Shea Holmes started over Hannah Glass.
I think they're just trying to get a look at both of them and see maybe future wise what we're maybe trying to be more committed to.
Yeah. And I know Harvey has said in press conferences that like they're really trying to get Shea Holmes into a spot, but I don't know how many times you can force a square peg into a circular hole until you realize it doesn't fit.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's been moments for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And I don't think that Shea Holmes is a bad player. I just think that this system or the way that they're trying to use her is conductive to the team as a whole right now.
But nothing's working.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's a little like I don't know. I could try to be like, yeah, she's like not. This is not good, but like all of it's pretty much not good.
Yeah, it's really hard to nitpick at this point because it's all bad.
Like I could say like I don't think that's the problem. Like
Yeah.
might as well try her out and then swap out for Glass next time. I don't really care. Let's just get a look at everybody so that like when the off season comes, we need to know who we actually want to keep.
Yeah. And we can talk about this more when we go into comments, but it's kind of at the point where you just need to fuck it up.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
try and make something work.
Yeah.
Because we've been trying the same thing and not getting results, and it's like you got to do something different, which we'll talk about in a bit. But you want to go into some of the positives?
Surprisingly, there are some.
I like forced myself to find some.
Adames, I mean, we always say Adames comes on and is like, she just gets it for her
Mhm.
age. I feel like we're so lucky that we have her here. Taking corners, laying balls into the box and everything like that. If we can find that bit of quality, heard that one before. If we can find that bit of quality on the end
It
of
was
these,
said like 3 times in the post game presser, and I'm
know.
just like,
like again, this isn't going to change game to game, unfortunately. without any changes in the roster.
Or some like long-winded training camp, you know.
Nothing's been going well for us, so I just don't think it's just gonna click like for us right now. I just don't
Yeah.
see it.
You can pray for that, but it's not gonna happen.
Sure, you can maybe have a moment or two of it, but consistently, I just don't see that happening for us this season.
I do think that you're right. Like Adama's, her dead ball
Hmm.
deliveries are good.
I'm remain upset that we did not have her on the team last year with Rapino to kind of have her as a mentor more. I mean, obviously she models a lot of her game after her anyways, but
Yeah.
imagine her directly having her there with her as a mentor. That would have we might be winning the whole thing this year had that happened.
I mean, that's kind of my same argument with like bringing in a veteran goalkeeper for
Hmm.
Dickey to play under.
Hmm. Totally.
But that's not the reality that we're in.
Nope.
And I think in that reality, she's doing well with what she's been given. And she does well with the time that she's given.
Yeah.
So I would definitely see her as one of the positives coming out of this game. Dickey, again, had a couple instances with quick distribution.
That makes you happy. I know it does.
So happy. And I think like just watching it and seeing her be confident in that
Yeah. Yeah.
gives me a lot of hope.
Sure.
Gave me hope the first time she kicked the ball out quickly and like connected a pass at the midfield last week. And then it happened twice this week. I'm like, get it. Okay, we're looking up now. Like you're putting into practice something that you've probably been told. And that if I want to look really hard into it and just speculate, that means that she's coachable and that she's learning, which is only a positive thing.
Yeah, super encouraging for sure.
And she didn't have a bad game. She made a couple really good saves. She did what she always does and came out and got the ball out of the air a couple times really confidently. So
Angel City was pretty threatening, I would say, with when they had possession around the box and in the box, they were pretty threatening. I think she handled it pretty well. There was definitely some chances that we got lucky with. They didn't shoot better, but
yeah, sucks that we keep falling to these like small scores.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like we were talking about with the Sounders last week was like they kind of had similar woes early on in the season. Their defense wasn't bad, but they weren't able to produce.
Yeah.
But the difference is they're now able to produce, whereas the Reign,
they're not producing by that much either, the Sounders, right? So like they've gotten these fine margin wins, right? And that's all it takes, right? You just got to hold down your back line and then just get something in the net. Doesn't matter how you get it, doesn't like just be productive in a way that, you have the quality at the time that you need it. Just that one moment. That's all you need.
yeah.
We haven't been able to do that for 4 matches. So
And we can go into that in a minute when we talk about the negatives. I want to move on to McLaren's Space Buns, which I also listed as a positive. We love a Xenon moment.
We do. We're a big fan of Protozoa. Anytime we can bring that early 2000s
Disney Channel original
Disney,
movies.
yeah, we're all about that. So thank you, Phoebe. Do you want to talk about the presser? The positive from the presser, at least the thing that I thought was kind of cool. You thought it was cool too. We both tried to put it in the notes.
Yeah, so Jordan Heidem had talked after the game, and we're going to add this into the positives of the match because I think that it kind of just, for me, showed the investment that she has. And just let me read it out. So she's talking about like the season and how it's turned out and kind of her thoughts on it. And one quote that I highlighted from it is she says, "So I think it's not our season. Easy to say that. Hurts. Unfortunate to say. But all we can do is take that and move forward. Have the fans behind us. Know that we're going to improve. Know that we're going to get better. That's our main focus. Play out the season. Playing hard, playing how we've been playing this year, pushing with our heart, and that's all we can ask for." And really, that's like, as fans, that's all we can ask for. And that's one thing that I will never, at least for the last couple of games, drag the team for is lack of effort.
Mm-hmm.
There's something missing, but it's not lack of effort.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that the players don't care.
Yeah.
This isn't an afterthought for them. You can tell that the fans mean a lot to them, that you can tell that the club means a lot to them, and they don't feel good about the way that they're playing.
No, they talked about their expectations, right? And they were like, we had high expectations coming into the season. And they said that even knowing that these other players that they had last year that helped the team so much weren't returning, they still had high expectations because that is the standard the club sets. That is the standard that the players set. And anything less than that I mean, essentially is a failure, right?
Hmm.
Doesn't mean a failure isn't something that like you can always use. This is what Heidema was saying is you can always use things that are like this, like a failure, and or the only way you can go from there is up, right?
Yeah.
And so I think hearing Heidema talk about that, be honest about it, was really refreshing. And because I know people have been really hard on her this year, and you could tell in the press conference, there's no one harder on Heidema than herself. And the fact that she feels like she hasn't kind of been up to the standard that she knows she's capable of. But she does seem very motivated. I don't know. She just doesn't want this season to define what this team is.
Yeah.
You know, she wants to use this as fuel for next year.
Which is great.
Yeah.
You know, we've been cheerleaders for her
Yeah, we have. Despite
to
people's
to
maybe
to
personal
a
thoughts
fault,
about it.
maybe,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
But I think this is a kind of honesty in a presser that we really haven't seen this season.
Hmm.
We kind of saw a bit of it in that halftime interview with Lou a couple games ago, where she talked about the rebuild.
Hmm.
And I think that it is nice to hear it. It is nice to hear that honesty. But you can also tell when she was talking about it that it came from a place of like personal disappointment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Statistically, yes, she should be disappointed with herself and the expectations that are set with her. But there's so much going on with this team. You can't put it on one player.
No.
The fact that she, as a 23-year-old, is able to articulate this
Hmm.
and talk about the team with this much care, it's only going to get better from here. And they're able to look back and learn from this season. We're not going to get any hardware out of this season. We're going to get nothing out of this season on paper. But if we can get something out of the season as a learning opportunity, as a way for players to reflect and see how it was, that's exactly what needs to happen.
Yeah, it's very val it could be very valuable. I mean, it's like unfortunate that it sometimes comes down to that, but you know, here we are. So
Yeah. It was good to not lose by more.
yeah, that's positive. I mean, we were really close to giving up some other goals. Speaking of lacking quality, you know, Angel City was also lacking some quality in front of goal. I don't think it's a coincidence that they are where they're at in the standings, even with the point deduction.
Well, they were
Um,
only 2 points above us, even before the points deduction.
yeah, yeah. But you look at them, right? And they've got a lot of threatening pieces, and they look like they could be very, very good next season. And they're starting to hit their stride right now, for sure. But they didn't score on us as much as they could have.
Yeah. Well, and I think that says something about our defense too. Phoebe McLaren had a good game.
Yeah.
And after, you know, her less than stellar game last weekend, what a way for her to come back and just be solid again.
She needed that.
We love that for you, Phoebe. Big fans.
We are big fans.
All right, let's roll into the negatives. It was boring because we have zero attack.
Yeah, which is kind of interesting because sometimes we're lacking quality on like the finishing touch, and I just feel like we didn't even have those chances this match.
Yeah, usually it's like, okay, the final pass isn't there. We didn't even get to the final pass.
It wasn't good.
No, it wasn't good.
Nothing was
And
good.
all of our opportunities came from the outside. There's no penetration through the middle.
It's just like I said, it's annoying when this is happening when we were finally kind of not, I mean, it was still a long shot, right? But we were handed a lifeline a little bit with this 3 point deduction, and we were not able to take advantage of it. And we also historically play pretty well against Angel City, and we couldn't do anything about it.
I think the difference is, though, maybe not the difference, but in that attacking third and in the midfield, we have nobody that's willing to take players on. You get the ball in the middle of the field, we have nobody that's beating 1, 2 defenders and then playing a dangerous pass. We're playing quickly, which is great. The game moves quickly, which is usually, you know, fun to watch. But with us, it's like moving quickly backwards. It's like, oh, I get the ball, I turn around, there's somebody there. Let me just, in normal times, great, play it back, play out of pressure. But at some point, you need to take somebody on and beat that next line. And they're not doing that. The only time we get that is when Montesir comes on.
Yeah.
And Montesir comes on, and she's played like very limited minutes. So she's a bit lost out there. But she's still, when she comes on, she's still the most exciting player on the field. Even if she's like lost in space, she's still the most exciting player. And that's insane.
Crnogorcevic has moments of it as well, but she almost does it in a way that like she's definitely gonna need some support.
Mm-hmm.
Montesier's got like a little bit of a different plan.
Montier is looking for goal.
Yeah. And Crnogorcevic is looking for danger, in the box, and just it seems like nobody else seems to be on the same page with her all the time.
Well, that's the other problem is like when Montier like beats two players and gets the ball into dangerous space, there's nobody available. It's like they're all surprised.
Yeah, that's why I would like her to
Oh.
see come on sooner with Crnogorcevic on the field, see both of them play together. Because if we get some chemistry flowing with them and G right behind that, could be cooking.
Could be cooking. Yeah, I agree. I think that's something to look forward to if we can get that going in the next couple games. I mean, not a lot to look forward to.
No,
So statistically, we are still in the playoff race.
barely.
Barely.
Don't expect it at all. We'll have to.
There,
There would have to be like a quick audit on some of the team above us and some more point deductions, I think, for us to really have a chance.
yeah. So statistically, we're still not out of the playoffs, but in our hearts, we are out. You want to move on to cooler player of the match?
Yeah, there's really not much to. We're just gonna bore you if we keep saying the same fucking things over and over and over again every week, and we're just like kind of running down the season, I think, at this point.
Yeah. So as always, the cooler player of the match is brought to you by the doctor's office, a great little 12-seat bar on Capitol Hill. The owner is a big fan of the rain and is proud to be our first sponsor. So your doctor's office cooler player of the match is going to be AMC's pre-match fit.
Which I do think, if there's anybody who's gonna really appreciate this, it is the owner of the doctor's office because he loves a good fit.
It was so good.
Go look.
The
The
silhouette of
silhouette's
it
crazy.
and her
It's probably the best. It's definitely the best fit I've seen, and maybe ever. It's like my like that's like the style that I'm like, holy shit, this looks good.
I was gobsmacked. So it's a white button up, white short sleeve button up, a Prada white sleeve short sleeve button up with the Prada upside down triangle logo on the left hand breast pocket with the Prada bolo tie and the pants.
Yeah, they're like
The
perfect.
pants are just like a loose fit black. Oh, it just works.
It works. It works so well.
We'll tweet it out with the with this episode because it's so good. It's the best thing to come out of this match.
Yeah, and welcome a good fit for sure. He looks so classy.
And it looks comfortable.
It does. I love a like a nice relaxed pant moment.
She could be on the runway here.
Yeah, yeah, she definitely could be.
I gotta stop looking at it. Okay.
Once again, thank you to our sponsor, the doctor's office. The doctor's office is the best place to grab a drink before or after a match.
I recommend the House Vodka Martini. It is strong enough for you to take the edge off this losing streak. Check out their Instagram at TDO Seattle, or better yet, go drink there in person.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Clink.
Clink. Other happenings around the league.
Well, Orlando's still undefeated and they won the Shield. I always start with that just because gotta get out of the way. Congrats to Orlando. Love this for them. If we're gonna suck, I'm fine with Marta being the one to really just take this season.
Yeah, seeing her holding that shield and just like to see what it meant for her. Incredible.
That team has been so bad like the entire time basically she's been there.
Yeah.
This is like an incredible story. Their coach has got to get coach of the year for sure.
Oh yeah. Seb.
Yeah.
Did you see that they crashed his press conference after the game?
No, that's
the
cool.
players crashed his press conference after the game and sat in the press seats, and somebody handed him like Heineken
Nice.
as he's sitting there doing his press conference.
I mean, they won it with like several games left, and they still haven't lost. Unreal.
Well, the difference for them has been their front office. They brought in, I think 2 seasons ago, Haley Carter, who has been in the game for a long time and has just been such a big leader, and then had this opportunity to go to Orlando and then absolutely cooked. And players want to play there now. So
good for them. You know, we're going through an ownership change and bringing it back to the Reign. We didn't have a lot of resources for our front office and different positions just across. We didn't have a lot of money to pay for a lot of these positions. So I don't think it's a coincidence that we're not very good this year, given all the changes we're going through. But I think looking at a team like Orlando should give you, as fans, some hope.
Hmm.
that like good times are likely, hopefully ahead if we start getting the right people in the right positions and everything like that.
Yeah, and you saw during the game, Adrian Hanauer up in the
Mm-hmm.
box,
Mm-hmm.
sitting watching the game. So there is investment there, and there is forethought into how
Yeah.
this team is going to function. So yeah, I hope that Orlando can be almost a template for the rest of the league
Yeah.
because they were bad.
Like really bad.
They were bad. And then they like quietly acquired all these players. And then they kind of just like got it all together, front office came together, and bam. Oh, we're gonna win every single game. Okay.
I'm happy for them. Another thing in the league.
Portland.
Portland fucking sucks.
They're so bad.
How do they have like what two we only have two more losses than them, right?
Something.
I looked this up. Let me double check. Because we're bad. Everyone knows that on this podcast. We've got what is it?
As
13
a Seattle
losses.
fan, I
Yeah.
love to lament myself in Portland struggles unless they're really serious. And then
I just ignore
it
them.
becomes a human level thing. But in this sense, when they've made this many terrible decisions and they sold the club and they put people in that like are bad, like I will absolutely get on
Yeah,
that.
I'm sure changes are gonna come. I also like lived in Portland briefly. So like I feel like my dislike of the city is a different level than maybe some other people's as far as like their sports teams go. So
Yeah.
I love when I get to bash on them. But yeah, so Portland has only we've lost 13 games. Portland's lost 11.
Ooh.
Ooh, how are you almost as bad as the Rain?
Well, and they were what up in like third at some point.
Yeah, a lot of this has been like a very quick fall for them.
Yeah.
Looking not good. I'm enjoying it. They didn't have our favorite goalkeeper this week.
No.
I don't know why. I didn't look into it.
So you
But
can't blame her for all your problems.
not this week. They also lost to like Utah, which I know you were
Okay.
saying Utah's doing better.
And we're playing Utah in the next game, so I'm like, ugh.
And the only goal Portland got was a penalty from Olivia Moultrie, who I will say, as someone who's not a fan of hers, she does seem to be one of the few players for that team that is really just trying to make stuff happen.
She's having a good season. And as a fellow Olivia Moultrie hater, it's been hard this season because she's playing really well. She's a good player. And however she came into the league and the grievances that we have with that, she's shown up this season and has shown up constantly. So we'll see what happens with them, but it doesn't look great.
Yeah, I think their beginning of the season cushion is going to be the thing that maybe if they get into the playoffs, that's going to be the only reason why.
Yeah,
And I don't think they're in a form that you want to be in going into the playoffs right now. So,
not at all.
especially when you've got teams like Gotham and Orlando and KC, I don't
Yeah.
think anyone's looking at this Portland team and having the same confidence that they maybe had about Portland in the past.
No, not at all. But we do have to talk about the Emma Hayes curse that
Yeah,
has surrounded every game that she's gone to this season
yeah, so
or
far.
in the last week, I guess.
Yeah, her little tour of the NWSL.
Every game that she's gone to, the home team has lost.
Including us, we're victims.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a victim.
I have been personally victimized by
hmm
Emma Hayes.
Portland is now a victim. What's the deal, Emma? What are you doing? Huh?
I don't know, but it's kind of a funny coinkydink.
It is. I mean, she got in and she got out, so maybe now we can win.
Maybe. So we wanted to create a space to air some stuff out because this has been a frustrating season. Coop texted me after the game last week and said, "Hey, what if we have a segment on the pod where we bring people in and we just air it all out, air our grievances,
A little venting
little
session.
vent sesh, yeah." And I thought about it and I was like, I think that seems like a good idea because we don't want to make the podcast depressing.
No, but it is important to also let everybody know that we're all kind of feeling feelings.
Yeah. And I think it's important as fans to have some sort of camaraderie in our
hmm
in our terrible feelings together.
Absolutely.
So we created a new segment we're going to pull in this week called Guild Grievances. So next up will be our first installment of Guild Grievances. All right, welcome to our new segment, Guild Grievances. We have with us Sounder Hart, writer extraordinaire for Ride the Valkyries, June. What's going on?
Hello, everything is bad.
It's not great.
And we just have to talk about it for an hour every week. You have to cover it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, talking about it sounds cathartic. I don't know. Everything is bad is probably a bit of an overstatement, but enough is bad. It's been a bad year. It's hard. We're all feeling it.
Yeah. How has it been for you, like week after week, having to just assess the team and what's been going on?
Oh, God, I think I'm 4 weeks behind now just because I've been procrastinating so much.
Yeah.
For a second there, we looked like we were figuring some things out. Then we lose Fuerta and Fishlock basically both at once, and it all falls apart again.
Yeah.
I'm not emotionally ready to spend like 6 to 8 hours rewatching footage of us getting our asses kicked.
Yeah, I hear
It's
that.
hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. I definitely agree with that. Has there been anything with the team, like on a more positive note, that's like surprised you?
So the biggest things, I have two. Claudia Dickey is a very young goalkeeper, and she's definitely got some growing pains, but she does so much so well. She commands her area so well. She's probably 3 years out from even peaking, and she's already comparing well to like Alyssa Nair and a bunch of big names in the league. Basically anybody not named Ann-Katrin Berger this year. Berger is just on another level. Like she's already comparing so well to so many elite keepers, and she's only going to get better. So that's been really positive to me. Even if there are moments where I wish she hadn't done that, peppered throughout. These are the growing pains that young players have. When you can see the upside, it's easier to swallow that sometimes. And the other is just Jordan Bug. What a revelation Jordan Bug has been every time she's been on the pitch.
Yeah.
It's bad right now, but there's pieces that are going to be really good in a year, 2 years, 3 years, and the future looks good.
Yeah.
I've been kind of riding on that because my season hopes have been quickly dwindling. It's like, okay, well, what can I be happy about? The future.
Yes, yes. And I would love to see Emma Adana's getting more minutes. I think she's earned like actually starting a few times. I understand slow rolling a player who plays a high leverage position and is going to get beat to shit in this league.
Has there been like anything I mean, I don't think anyone thought we were going to be this bad this season. Is there anything like in particular that surprised you about this season?
So many things that are going against us are things that are fixable and repeatable, and it keeps happening. And that's been
Yeah.
the one that surprised me. I think Laura Harvey is a smart coach, and I know that she's not going into like training saying, I want you to make the same mistake the same way 4, 5, 6 weeks in a row. Like I know that she's seeing this. She's telling us in her interviews that she's seeing this, but for whatever reason, we keep getting caught out in the same ways again and again, and we keep losing points because of it. And we keep losing points in matches where we're not even necessarily the worst side. Like, yeah, the last 4 weeks we've been outplayed at least 3 times, but on the season, we've dropped a lot of points in matches where we could have had them. And it's always been the same sort of mistakes. It's always been the outside back or the midfielder not tracking back at a particular key leverage moment and the team getting immediately punished for it. I know that that's a specific thing that drives Harvey crazy. So
Yeah.
why does it keep happening every time?
Yeah, there was like that 3 weeks in a row where we got scored on corner kicks. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing in practice?
And also sometimes it's just out of your control. Like I think everybody knew Barbara Banda and Temla Chilinga were going to be good, but maybe not just how good. The goal Banda scored against us earlier in the year, I don't know how you defend that.
There've been a couple of those where I'm just like, well, I'm just gonna.
What was that goal that Dickey gave up? Like, was that 2 games ago?
Oh
or
yeah,
something?
where she missed
It
the
was
catch.
just-
I think that was 3 games ago.
Well, no, it wasn't the missed catch. It was the one where she just stood there because it just
yeah.
like
That rocket from
like-
just outside the box.
Yuki on Houston.
yeah.
Yeah.
That goal. Yeah. It's like, damn.
Yeah, Yuki Nakasada can still score a banger.
I wish
It's good to have
I
that in
wish
your
we had one of
arsenal.
those.
I mean, we do with G. It's just I don't know. We're hitting the worst slump right now of not scoring. I feel like we had G kind of saving our asses for a little bit on stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think Fishlock going down is a big part of what's gone wrong since then. So we quietly had like a really good transfer window in a lot of ways. We shored up a lot of obvious positions of improvement. We made some loans that should be good for player development. We brought in new young players who look really exciting. I don't think anybody expected Anna Maria Stenogorsevic to immediately be the best player on the roster, but she kind of was.
Totally.
And part of it was that there was this really immediate chemistry and connection between Fishlock G and Stenogorsevic, where they were all really in sync, really knowing where the others were going to be, and it led to a lot more attacking dynamism than we'd seen. And for G in particular, she was releasing the ball more quickly, which she was doing at the beginning of the season when she looked really good. And then as we started slumping, she'd hold on to it too long and too long and too long and dribble into 5 players and lose it. And we're kind of
Yeah.
seeing her regress back into that, holding onto the ball too long, to going into challenges that she can't win because nobody is making the runs that she needs them to make. And nobody is providing the outlet to continue moving play forward, where we're getting very stagnant again. A lot of standing still while we're in possession rather than moving to create options.
Yeah, and I think that one thing that was an immediate impact after Horta left was you're not having that option. And I know Harvey
Yes.
is trying to make Holmes into a similar type of player, but that takes time. And Huerta is so mobile and is
Yes.
always creating space and is always trying to find an outlet, trying to be an outlet for players.
Absolutely.
And
Even
so even if there's, one player, Fishlock goes out, if you still have Huerta, you've got a little bit of give with that. But it's just kind of still people are coming on the field and it's like, oh, okay, well, where do I go now? I'm just missing that kind of direction.
I don't know and I'm not sure if Latsko's I don't know if Latsko's quite the answer, but it's the only option I would say we really have right now. So I guess we run with it. I know she's gonna work hard whenever she's playing on the field, so I'm not worried about that.
oh yeah.
That's my other grievance from this
But
season is Ryan Brown.
Oh my
oh,
God. Just when she was really putting it together too.
I know. She was our first ever cooler player of the match. And then like I think maybe the next game or like 2 games later, ACL.
Ban ACLs. Why do we need
Ban
them?
him.
I know.
As an in the last 3 years ACL victim myself, I agree.
Oof.
It's
Condolences.
harder in your 30s too, I'll tell you. Well, I was just gonna kind of ask, as somebody that like covers the team, is there, because the team is so, and especially Harvey is pretty tight-lipped when it comes to communication. Do you think that like this finishing this season as low as they're about to finish, do you think that that opens her up to meet a little bit more media criticism? And do you think that that's going to be something that people will start to ask questions about?
I I don't know. This is one where like Susie and Jacob do a lot more of the interviewing than I do. I've sat in on some interviews, but I don't tend to have the availability when she has press availability.
Mhm.
Um, but my observation, at least, has been that she doesn't really respond well to the tough lines of questions anyway. It's not like nobody has these questions. It's that when you've asked them for 10, 12 years across 3 teams, you kind of know how she's going to respond, and it's not necessarily going to get you anything more useful than just asking for her take on the game.
Mhm.
But I do think that there's definitely plenty of space for criticism of Harvey's performance as a coach. I know that a ton goes into coaching that doesn't necessarily translate onto the pitch week in, week out. I know that it's a complicated, hard job with so much pressure and scrutiny on it.
Yeah.
But Harv's is very notoriously tight-lipped, and the Rain are kind of notoriously tight-lipped. I think it will be interesting to watch, and I also think it will be interesting to watch if like the bigger partnership with the Sounders. I don't really know how to describe the ownership situation because the Sounders are a minority owner but are kind of the day-to-day functionaries. And they're a lot more open with press, and I'm wondering if some of that's just like organizationally going to transfer.
Yeah.
I'm hoping so.
It would be nice.
But I also know that Laura Harvey is not going to change. I feel like the way that she runs things, so I'm not going to hold out for it.
What you see is what you get with Laura Harvey in good
Yeah.
and bad ways.
Yeah, and it's not like a huge complaint, but like in times like this, it is a little like it adds to the frustration for sure.
It would be great to be able to get like some of the thought process between some of the things that seem very opaque from our side. Like, what are you trying differently in training, even though you're trying to put out the same tactical shape and impossible to put out the same lineups when we constantly have a new injury carousel, but as much as possible, she does try to stick to certain hands.
Because they don't do any open training right now, right? Not really.
Not really. There's some training with press availability, but it's always kind of awkwardly timed and hard to get to, and very, very limited access.
Yeah. Yeah, because that would be something that I think that maybe the Sounders might force her to open up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hate that. We'll have to send in somebody else because we're both not in the area, but someone will get out there.
Yeah, you know.
Well, Harvey, if this trend continues into next season, right? And we're still having questions and questions, I think that she's going to have to answer for that at some point. Might get uncomfortable, might get weird, and might not even have to happen if the off season treats us well, But we'll see, and I think it'll be super interesting going into next season.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully this doesn't continue into next season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any specific changes you were like would hope to see? Like in the roster maybe, or I don't know, something that you want to see that might improve things?
From where we're at right now, I really want to see what Mondesir has after like an off season, after training, after reps with the team. I think it's understandable that she was always probably going to take a bit of time to adjust to the league, let alone coming in cold to a team that has been struggling this much this late in the season. But she has this quality on the ball that I think could translate really, really well. And until we see what she has, I'm not really sure what I would change. But if she's not up to it, it is still the position of most glaring need. We need somebody who will actually score a goal when we create a chance. The other side of that is Jordan Haidama, who apparently fractured her spine earlier this year, and that was why she missed all that time.
Kind of a big injury.
And she's also very young. She's a lot younger than people remember she is because she's been playing forever. But she's 23 and coming off a major injury, so it's kind of understandable she's having a down year. But we need to see if she can get back up to speed and maybe finally take that last step to being genuinely elite. Because if those two things happen, I think we're actually really well positioned. Not to say that there are no changes to be made, but our position of greatest need all year has been being able to find a goal. And for a month now, being utterly unable to.
Yeah.
If we can find those, and we have Ji So-yun and maybe another year of Jess Fishlock to groom our very promising young midfielders going forward, I think we're really well positioned. But it's an if.
That's the hope. It's definitely an if, and it's definitely a hope. And I think as fans we can see the potential for sure. And I feel like we try to be optimistic about it. Time will tell. Do you want to do the community thing, man?
Yeah. So this is a question from Steve in the Discord. Said, is it better to still have a very tiny sliver of hope, or would you rather have already been eliminated from postseason contention and been put out of our misery at this point? And
you got an answer for that?
My response is kind of like, I'm glad we still have a sliver of hope because while it's still there, I will hang on to it with dear life. But I think once you get to the point, we only have 3 games left, get to the point where it's like, well, fuck it. We can't make the playoffs now. Let's try something different. And that's really when it's going this poorly, that's kind of what you need to do. But at the same time, I'm like, grasping at straws. So what do you think? Do you think that things would change if we were already eliminated?
I genuinely don't know. I think Laura Harvey would probably still Laura Harvey. I think she might give a few more minutes to like Adonis, McCammon. She's already giving a lot of minutes to Jordan Bug, and I love that. But on the other hand, my scarf says I believe, and I refuse to make a liar out of it until we are officially eliminated. So we're making the playoffs.
I feel like I'm the only one who's like, yeah, I feel like I'm the only one. Well, we got handed that the little thing about Angel City. We got like here's a 3-point takeaway, and we still couldn't take advantage of that little hope. But after that, I was like, God, well, maybe there is none. I feel like I've been checked out more longer than Van has.
Yeah.
Though. But that's my own personal problem of being a pessimist.
Do you have any other grievances you'd like to air from this season?
I think we've gone through all my big grievances. I want Maria Thomas to get more minutes. That's my top grievance.
I think that's a very good big grievance to have. I think we've been very upset and confused by it. I'm also one of those people though that's been like, I don't want to overplay young players, and we haven't really been in this territory for the league with having players this young and how many minutes they can kind of handle without it having. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? There's so many players that have been around the game for so long that are having some pretty catastrophic things happen to them. And I would hate to be like a team that's kind of pushed a player to play too much too early. So on one hand, I'm like, yeah, I want to see more dominance, but on the other hand, I'm like, well, long term, maybe we should think about it.
Harvey is playing it very cautious, but there are reasons to play it very cautious with young players.
Jordan Bug just seems like a different breed, where she already like is acting like she's 24 years old and is just like, I'm gonna come get the ball off of you.
Reminds me of Naomi Gurma a little bit. Just kind of gets
Yeah.
it, and I don't know, her mentality seems
She
right.
so she kind of gives me like 2021 Alana Cook with her field vision. She's got an eye for just
Yeah.
the line breaking long passes, and that is a thing we have been missing before she started showing up.
Yeah, it's kind of it's kind of crazy how she popped in right as we were kind of needing to transition Cook out. I feel like we kind of got away with something there.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we expected Alana Cook to just really, I don't know, go downhill so fast.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know either. I'm upset. I really feel for her, and I hope she figures it out, but it's not looking good right now still.
Maybe an
So
off season and new scenery and
yeah,
chance to get it together.
for sure. And Casey's still doing pretty well, so I think being in that environment can kind of help you, I don't know, getting that winning mentality again. So anything else? We good? What do you think, fan?
I'm gonna hold my grievances until the end of the season.
Fair.
I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna end. You know,
We're making the playoffs. 3 straight wins.
You people. It's not happening.
3 straight wins by 6 goals each game.
We're gonna be the ones that destroys Orlando's perfect
Manifesting it.
season.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be kind of funnier if I don't want this to happen by any means, but it would be kind of hilarious if we ended up in last place and we were the ones to also ruin Orlando's winning season. Like, you know, win complete they're this streak or whatever.
Taking down the courage.
That'd be kind of funny. I mean, we'll probably be second. Yeah, I don't want to be that low on the thing, but
The one year where we could get a good draft pick
And no draft.
and no drafts.
Laura Harvey would. You all know that Laura Harvey would have traded that for some allocation money or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
Trade it for a bag of balls.
She would not have kept it. For sure.
Like, ooh, new cones? Yes.
Heck yes.
A new tracksuit? I'm in.
Oh yeah, new cooler.
Yep. Well, I think that's gonna wrap it up. I think that's a good segment. I like it.
Thank you for joining us, June. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
This has been Guild Grievances. Yeah.
So we don't play until next Sunday, which is great. A little extra day of rest. So next Sunday, October 13th at 2:00 Pacific time, we play at Utah. Utah has won their last 2 matches leading up to this game, so they're kind of on a roll, which is a little concerning.
They're also above us now in the standings. Yikes.
They're not bad. I've been saying that.
Well, yeah, but when we started this, you know, we were doing our shout outs of teams below us, and there was always Utah for a while. And now they've lapped us. I don't
Yeah.
like it. I don't like it.
Well, they're only 1 point above us at the
Listen.
table.
That's all that matters right now.
It is. It really is. You're right.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I think Setnor, once again, someone to look out for.
She's been great.
Yeah, that's a really good get for Utah. I think they'll be formidable next year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to expect for Rain because we literally have had a different lineup every single match. So
Is it going to be 24 out of 24 next week?
maybe next week we just do one of the same lineup just to say we did it again.
No, why would we? Why would we not just like keep it going?
Just like one time, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's too much to ask. Well, I mean, like, will Quinn be back by then? Because then, yeah, then we're not having the same lineup.
Yeah, I mean, there's questions about Quinn. There's questions about Fishlock. I did see though, so Fishlock has a new BBC Wales like radio documentary coming out on Monday tomorrow. So, and in which it was previewed that she really wants to go to a major tournament with Wales, and that would be Euro 2025.
Yeah, she's very adamant about being in that and getting the team to that. So I don't think she's...
my comments last week about what is she waiting for? There's nothing to like keep going if she's gonna retire.
You were wrong.
Yeah, I'm wrong. 100% wrong. We'll see what happens. if she needs to preserve herself and like wants to do that, get it.
Yeah, rest up, get your body right again. Because then you got to get in form, right?
Mm-hmm.
In order to do that, you would also have to be playing for the Reign consistently and pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Which I would not mind because she was playing really well at the beginning of the season.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, you could definitely see like when she left, when Huerta left, you could tell a difference. I mean, even when Haidama was gone,
yeah, the energy
you could tell a difference. So it's the energy, but it's also like the defensive shape.
Mm-hmm.
You can maybe critique her individual contributions,
Mm-hmm.
but when you watch the game and you see the movement and you see the leadership on the field, they miss her.
I agree with that for sure, especially because Barnes was gone to at the beginning of the season or like a lot, right? And then Fishluck was kind of there in that leadership role, and then we've kind of just been like, I mean, Barnes is back now. I don't know. It'd be nice if, again, the transparency thing has always been lacking for injuries and Laura Harvey. So who's maybe she's available next week, maybe she's available next season. I don't know.
The media accountability is also difficult because other than Sounder at Heart, there's no real consistent media coverage of the Reign.
That's a problem with many NWSL teams.
Yeah.
It's across the league. It's not just Reign and everything. We're like, I would say we're lucky to even have Ride of the Valkyries and Sounder at Heart to be like putting resources and time into covering the Reign.
Yeah. So it's getting those answers and like, I don't know. It just, Laura Harvey's always just been pretty, I don't know what the term would be, close-lipped.
Yeah, you used that last week. I think you're right, though. I don't know. Maybe we'll break her out of her shell.
I hope so.
maybe the Cooler Guild is what she needed.
Maybe we need these like random amateur podcasters to like ask the hard questions.
That's right. We'll just pop on and we'll be like, "Hi, we're from the Cooler Guild." And like, what the fuck is that? You don't know? It's the hottest new thing. Everyone listens to the Cooler Guild. Did you want to shout out? I think you should shout out the review because I thought it was nice.
Yeah, so we got a really great review on Apple Podcasts from a user named Bellevue Liz. Shout out Bellevue Liz.
Shout out Bellevue Liz.
That was really nice. It made my day, and we hope we can keep living up to your expectations because they are high and mighty, and we appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you for that. Anything that makes Fans Day better. I'm just kidding. It also, I was like reading it out to my wife, and she was like, "That's really nice," and I was like, "It is nice."
Sometimes I forget. Sometimes I forget that people listen.
Yeah, because we're just chit chatting, right? And we're just like obsessive about following Reign news, and so that's how we ended up where we are. So it is nice to, I don't know, get feedback that it's appreciated that we're putting this out for people to listen to, that maybe don't have the time or spending their time better in better ways than us.
More productive ways.
Yeah, more productive ways in terms of like the amount of stuff that we tend to, I don't know, obsess over and consume. So we're happy that it gets people excited about the team even when we are not playing well.
Yeah.
It's not going great, but I do think there's room for optimism, and I think it's valid to have optimism about this team. And part of that is the fans and the energy that they bring and showing up for the team. I think without that,
Yeah, we love, and we are really appreciative to be a part of that. Even from our more remote locations. You know, neither of us live in Seattle anymore, and to be involved, in keeping people around really is something more than I could have ever asked for.
Yeah, it's really special.
We appreciate you. Keep listening. Hopefully it'll get better.
It will. Maybe not this year, but it will next year. I feel good about that. I think that wraps it up for this episode. If you want to follow us on Instagram or X, formerly known as Twitter, our handles are the same for those. It's at Cooler Guild Pod.
You can send us an email. We love an email. That email is thecoolerguild@gmail.com. You can also visit us at our home webpage, which is sounderheart.com/the Cooler Guild.
We're also on YouTube. We got some episodes there. Hoping to maybe upgrade the video stuff at some point, maybe next season. YouTube is youtube.com/@the Cooler Guild.
Which leads us into our new tip option on our Sounderheart page. For the episode, you can leave us a tip, and help us upgrade our lighting so that we can put some video up. That's expensive. Lighting is expensive.
It turns out things are not cheap.
No, they're not cheap at all. So if you'd like to leave us a tip, you can do that on our episode page at Sounder at Heart.
I always encourage people though to do the I think it was $80 a year tier. I had to edit that
75.
out. Is it? I thought it was 80.
It's 75. No, I looked it up. It's
Okay.
$75.
There is a tier on Sounder at Heart that I usually try to encourage people to go to because then you get access to our Discord.
Yeah, that's a $75 tier.
Yeah, the Discord for Sounder at Heart has like a rain one on there, and the discussions are really great, really fun. Even if you don't want to participate, it's very fun to read the comments people have during matches and, you know, all of the stuff going around the team right now.
And you can, yeah, if you want to hop on that $75 a year subscription to Sounder at Heart, you can do that through our site, which we get a little piece of, which is sounderheart.com/Cooler Guild.
Yep, go rate wherever you're listening. 5 stars. Leave us something funny or nice. Funny is always good.
Or drag us and give us 5 stars. We love it either way.
Dragging is funny to me. So,
all right, till next week.
I'm Coop.
I'm Van.
Bye.
Bye.
I guess I should leave my comments out about their bum ass goalkeeper that they had for a while. Yeah.